Today we meet a civic band in proud congratulation to celebrate the gallant stand which saved their faith and nation. No recreant fear shall hush the cheer which wakes us to remember the closing gate and boyish fate of glorious old December. Then raise the cheer to freemen dear and toast each brave defender, for Nowton Pars to Derry hearts a thrill like no surrender. Brave hearts they struck the rallying glow for each loved home and altar. Nor traitor friend nor bigot foe their plighted faith could falter. Old Walker, Zeal and Barry still came in their need to cheer them, and sallies great from open gate soon taught their foe to fear them. Then raise the cheer to freemen dear and toast each brave defender, for Nowton Pars to Derry hearts a thrill like no surrender. Against mighty odds they held their wall through plague and grim starvation, combined to cause their cities fall and crush the hapless nation. True to their trust, no craven durst in brief the word surrender, for gathering ill but nerve the will of each resolved defender. Then raise the cheer to freemen dear and toast each brave defender, for Nowton Pars to Derry hearts a thrill like no surrender. Till townward dawn falls rising tide, brave Browning's vessel bounded, a shock, a crash, a belch broadside, and victory's note resounded. Then banded here from year to year, we'll cherish the proud story. Come weal or woe, no plotting foe shall rob us of our glory. And raise a cheer to freemen dear and toast each brave defender, for Nowton Pars to Derry hearts a thrill like no surrender.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It is Friday evening. I'm here on my own this evening. I'm afraid Roy is having a night off. Hiya to everyone that's given in all the messages. Let me just have a leaf through these here. Roy Patterson's watching. Edward Fellows, Leslie Ann Harvey, Eddie Black's watching. Gillian and Jensen are also watching. Fred and Linda and Carrickfergus. Adrian McAvenna. Carol Porter, what a start. That was a good wee song, wasn't it? Reggie Collins watching in the Big K. Brian Goody's watching. Eddie Torney, hi Eddie, nice to have you back with us again. Sylvia Slane's watching, as is Bart Rennick from Maguire's Bridge. Stephen Feely says, evening all, I wonder who is on tonight. Gavin Hazlitt is watching, as is Philip Mackay, Eddie Martin, William Smith, Kenny Dummigan, Amy and Denise are in Coke, Johnny McClements is watching from Londonderry. Glory, glory to the Brave 13. So, of course, with today being the proper day for the burning of London, we kind of had to mark it in some way. So last Saturday night, Lisa picked the clips from Londonderry. Or was it last Friday night? No, last Friday night maybe? Saturday night. Lisa picked the clips from Londonderry. Whereas tonight, Roy has picked the clips, and what he has done is Apprentice Boys parades, closing the gates parades, other than Londonderry, so places like Limavady, Ballymena, Scotland, and so on. So it should be an interesting evening. Now, unfortunately, as always, we couldn't get all the genres of bands, so Roy did have to go outside of the Burning of Lundy parades in order to cover all of the bands, for instance, the accordions, some of the melody, the part music, etc., and the brass. But we've got a good programme lined up for you. Hopefully you enjoy it. If not, Roy's responsible, not me. So we're going to start the first one. Bear with me till I get this first video up and running. The first one is from Banbridge in 2009. Now let me just get it up here and we can get the... give me a second till I get to the right starting point, 219. I'll get her playing anyway. That was Downshire back there in 2009, and as you can see, doing a little bit of a snake in a circle type formation. Don't know what exactly we would call that. Let's see if we can get through a few more of the text messages before I lose them. John King is watching in Omagh, as is Robert Goldsmith. Graham Kenny is watching. Joy Cullen is watching. Muriel is watching. Kathy Ruddle is watching in Craigavon, County Armagh. David Mitchell is watching from Airdrie. Aaron Cranston says he's missed a few weeks. Hello from Canada. Hiya, Aaron. It's great to have you with us. Lovely to see you. As always, glad you're enjoying the music enough to want to come back again. That's the main thing. John Geddes is watching in Manchester. Roberta and Eddie Baird are watching. Joyce wondered where John China and Joshua Morris is. I think I saw a message in from Joshua further on down. I think he's got his radio show this evening. Albert Harkness is watching in Newtonards. Mark Heaney is watching as well. Remember the Brave 13. William Callahan is watching. Derek James Shanks from Edinburgh. Harry MacArthur in Glasgow. Rab White from Newtonards. My goodness. John Hewitt is watching from Liverpool. Let me see. Pamela and Alan Loudon. Oh, my goodness. There are so many of you. I'll get through a few more after our next tune. Now, next up for us, we're going to go to Scotland. This is the Apprentice Boys of Derry Closing the Gates Parade in 2019. And it is Camlachie Loyal Star. Very nearly could say that. And this is them, as I say, in 2019. Great there from Camlachie Loyal Star. Now, I don't know whether it was my speakers or was it the same for you guys. It was a wee bit drum heavy, that recording. I know they're a great band, and I know that's not normally the case. So perhaps it was just where the videographer was standing. It's always nice to get a good balance in the videos, isn't it? Let's see. Norris Main is watching. Robert Goldsmith wants to know, have I a note of absence from Roy? No, I don't. He should have definitely left me in a note of absence. That is just not good enough. Alistair Keller is watching in Edinburgh. Louise McCaw is watching. Hi, Louise. Hope you're well. Roy Chambers is watching as well as Jennifer McAllister in Craigenee. Elizabeth Green says, hi, everyone. Ronnie Heinman says, hello from Portrush. Just a wee drink tonight. Och, it wouldn't be the weekend without one now, would it? Would it, Ronnie? Billy and Margaret are watching from Port Glasgow. Welcome to you both. Sam Hanna is watching Super Netherton. David Sheridan and Victoria Sheridan are both watching. Raymond Whitehead is watching in Loyalist Glasgow. Tommy Loudon says good evening from a very wet Loyalist Liverpool. You said Valerie and Roy. I'm here on my own, unless this is Roy in disguise, but I don't think so. I'm all dressed up, decked out in my Christmas attire today because it was our Christmas jumper day at work. So I decided I would keep it on for you guys this evening, and then of course we'll find another one for tomorrow night, because tomorrow night is our Christmas night. Tonight we are covering videos from Apprentice Boys of Derry, Shutting of the Gates parades other than Londonderry. And as usual, we can't cover all the genres from that particular parade because silver and brass and the pipe bands and really accordion bands don't tend to take part in it. So Roy has pulled in some other clips for that there. So these are all Roy's choices tonight. I have just pulled the clips together. I haven't had a chance to listen to them all, so they're all as new to me as they are to you guys. Jerry is watching. Teal Sinclair is in the big lights of London this week. You're a bit away from home tonight, Teal. Are you up shopping or are you working? Francis Murphy is watching in Birmingham. Okay, Fran. Hugh Solomon is watching from Loyalist Clackmanahan. Robert McElroy says hello from South Wales. Amanda Carnworth says hi in Londonderry. And Helen Thompson is watching in Limavady. Alistair Slater in Pennycook. I think I said that right, Alistair. I don't know. So hope you have all had a good week. I don't know about you guys, but that's me finished now until the 4th of January, which is great. I am so happy about it. Do you still have a few days yet to go, or is that you finished as well? In other words, you can now relax. I can relax after we've done tomorrow night's show, and then that is us. Now, where are we going to next? We're going to go back to Northern Ireland this time. We are going to head up until Ballymena. I think there'll be a few boys very happy to see this next one. This is North Ballymena Protestant Boys, and it is them at their Shutting of the Gates parade in 2017. So, first tune was really, really short, so I said I would get 2 on there, plus the fact that you saw so many of the Apprentice boys in the first clip, and I thought that was nice getting to see them parading in Ballymena. Now, let's get through a few more of these messages. The good thing about this piece of software is I don't seem to be losing them, which is great. Don't have to rush to get through them. David Gibson is watching in Springburn in Glasgow. Marlon Rouleau is watching from a wet and windy West Lothian. It is wet and windy here as well, Marlon. It is horrible. Richard Shannon says hello from Bootle. Jerry is over there in Leeds. William Fenton says here as usual, all set for another great night. Eddie Torney says, me, China and Stephen should have done a video of us closing a gate. Is that just like any gate, Eddie? You know, like a gate in a field somewhere? Well, I suppose you are all city slickers, aren't you? You aren't near fields. Well, maybe like a garden gate or... I don't know. Do you think would that help, really? Stephen Ramsey is watching in there. Megan, nice to have you on board. Stephen, I see that you're home tomorrow to the family, and that is really nice for you to get home. William Torrance says, evening all. Andrew Slavin says, no surrender. Well, of course, watchword of the Apprentice Boys of Derry. Robert Donnell is watching from the Fountain, Londonderry. It must be weird for you guys up there with no burning of London parades in December at all. Jackie Mullen is watching. Marlon Lowe says she hasn't been on in a few weeks. She's glad to be back. Glad to have you back, Marlon. We've missed everyone that doesn't get watching every week, because you get to recognise the names that are coming up in the comments all the time. Ron Stitt is watching. He says he's here tonight. Jim McManus is watching in Bangor. Andy Faith Stevenson is also watching, as is Jimmy Robinson from Bangor as well. Two in Bangor beside other. Jonathan Courtney says, good evening from West Lothian. Enjoy the festive season all. John Lennox wants me to give Saltcoats Protestant Boys a mention. And Shanksy is watching from Edinburgh, and he says, hi, everyone. Adrian McAvena says, sad news, the passing of Trevor Spears from Ballycraigie Sons of Ulster. I saw actually a couple of bereavements today, and yesterday was Trevor's, and there was another one today. I'll just get up the details in that one there, just to pass on my condolences, because this is a horrible, horrible time of the year for anyone to be coming through a bereavement. I think it's very, very difficult time. It was, of course, Ballynena True Blues, the bandmaster. Oh no, it's not the band. It's the bandmaster who's writing it. Brian passed away last night from Ballynena True Blues. Sympathies go out to everyone who has been bereaved at this time. It's so difficult to get through Christmas. You know, Christmas is a time of family, so it's very, very hard. John Stewart is watching in New Mills, County Tyrone. Roy Patterson says, quick, get the East Belfast Protestant Boys on before China comes. But I think I saw him. I think I saw a message from him, because I'm kind of like, I'm reading through the messages on one screen, and I've got the most recent messages coming up on our screen. So I'm trying to multitask, and it may not be working as well as it should. Now, where are we going to go next? We need a little bit of accordions. Always have to have a little bit of accordions in. This is Derry Fubble Accordion Band. Obviously not a Burning in the London Parade, but this is them at their own concert in 2017, and they're playing that fantastic march, Sharpshooters. Let me see, is that any better sound? I have changed the microphone here now. Oh, hold on. Try that. How is that coming out for you? Any better? Any worse? Not sure. We'll try this one anyway. See how this goes. So a few more text messages there. Andrew Slavin says, I'll give the Salt Coats Proddy Boys a mention. They're a good bunch. Thornley Boys wants Jerry. Marlon Lowe says, proud of Govern on tonight. No, what we have, Roy has compiled a list for us of Lundy parades other than Londonderry. So these are from Ballymena, from Scotland, from Market Hill, we have ones as well, and from Limavady and so on in Ballymena. So it's all non-Londonderry Lundy parades. Now that's a twister. That's a twister. Is that any better now, Denise? Sounding good now, Denise says. That's better, Gary Waller says. Well, that's good. It's kind of hard to get the right balances at times. Now, where are we going to next? David Wallace is watching in South Armagh. Harry Hawash is watching in Liverpool. Someone said earlier on, I think it was Gillian, said that everybody's very subdued this evening. Yes, I think so. Is it maybe perhaps the fact that we're all just after rushing to get all the work done, and then knowing now that we're not going to have to look at it again for a few days at least, if not a couple of weeks. Eddie says he's more multitasking at work. Eddie, come on now. You're really trying to get us to believe that you work, because I definitely don't believe it. Kenny Jackson is watching. She's coming from the Fountain in Londonderry. She says they've just burning the Lundy in the state, as we did not have our annual parade. So what I was doing today was I was actually compiling a video about the Siege of Londonderry, or the Siege of Derry as it was then, and getting all the details. And did you know that the siege actually didn't start on the 18th of December? It didn't start until 6 months later. What happened on the 8th of December is the 18th of December is when the apprentice boys shut the gates, and the army which was attacking them at that point in time, they retreated back to Coleraine. And then they decided 6 months later, with James II arriving in Dublin and working the way up, they wanted to get control of those bad boys in Ulster again who were against James and supporting William, that they decided they wanted to get them stamped down once and for all. And that's when the siege started. It was actually, let me just double check, 13th of April was when the cavalry was first seen approaching Londonderry. So let's get back to a little bit more music. Edward Fellows says he's been finished since April 2010. He's retired. I don't know. Edward, if you're anything like my mum, she always says that she's now busier, that she's not working, than she was when she was working. Retirement, she's managed to get like 200 other jobs, none of which are paid. So let's go to Limavady this time. This is Star of the Row at the Burning Lundy Parade in Limavady town in 2019.
So that was Limavady, and I actually picked that one up at a really good time because Michael Thomas, from Toronto, Canada, is watching. He sends fraternal greetings to his brethren in the Crimson Cause, and that's at his Apprentice Boys Branch Club in Limavady, No Surrender. He says, keep up a good job with the videos. It's not me that makes the videos, it's those videographers who are out week in, week out doing all that hard work. And unfortunately this year there's been nothing for them to video, or very, very little. But hopefully, is it terrible news this week about another shutdown? I just don't know, like, what is it? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Is that maybe where we're at? Irvine McCabe says that's a nice jumper you've got on. He's got his red jumper on tonight and wants to know, could I say hello to his friend Carl? And last Saturday, the collection for the Lisburn Food Hall was £1,060. Well done, Irvine. I know you were collecting that there. Gillian Douglas Ray and Robert Goldsmith are getting the booze up arranged for whenever all of this is over. Count me in. Gillian is arranging a kitty. So can you just imagine what the first parade is going to be like when we do eventually get back to a normal size parade? It's going to be chaos, absolutely chaos. And sure, what better thing can we do? Great show's a member of the Apprentice Boys of Derry. Thanks, Valerie. And that comes from David Gibson. I'm now getting to the messages about the sound, so hopefully that is better for you now. Tracy Willie T says a massive big mention to the Loyalist Boys from Denny, Spongy and Willie T, and No Surrender. Joy wants to know, have you got all those Pride of Ballinran CDs sold yet, China? She says another 88 to be sold and you will be on commission. Do you not think he makes enough without giving commission? Honest to goodness. He'll have a good Christmas based on the profits this year. Lauren Elwood says, give South Belfast Protestant Boys a mention. They are heading out tomorrow night for Christmas drinks. Have a good one, because it could be another long time before you're getting out again. Where are you going? Is there any pubs open at all, or are you going out for like a meal as an excuse for the drink? Is that what you're doing? Big Mackenzie from East Kilbride, member of Shettleston Browning Club, wishing all a safe and Merry Christmas. Caroline Stirrup is in Cookstown watching as well. Jane was enjoying Derry football there. Yeah, I'm just getting caught up here. Jimmy Yates is in Coleraine watching. Hiya, Jimmy. Jensen is loving it. Good wee March Sharpshooters. It's just good. Val, blast about the Sons of Some, Johnson Star, make their night. Unfortunately, I can't because the show is pre-set up so that runs as smoothly as it possibly can. And there's nights, believe me, that it doesn't run very smooth. So just imagine what it would be like if we didn't pre-plan everything. Now, you know what I'm like? I love a little bit of silver and brass bands. I think I may be converting Roy, I have to say. I don't know that he's completely there yet, but we're still working on him. Now, I'm interested to hear the brass bands that he has selected for us this evening. I know that they're two great marches. That much I do know. The first one is the fantastic march, Loyal and True. And for chains, it's actually Wantage Silver Band. I think this is an English band, but hopefully it'll still be good. quicker than I expected. There's usually a repeat in the trio. So I was reading through the messages, but it caught me by surprise. Now, where are we going to next? Dougie Woods says all the best wishes to all from the Campsie Edinburgh Club. Tracy Willie T says, what about the Scottish Loyalists? Big shout out. We are massive fans of our Scottish Loyalists here. We always try to include at least 2 or 3 of the Scottish bands every week. And couple of times 3 or 4 times now we've actually done a night of nothing but Scottish bands, because it's really hard to get everybody fitted in. And then you get people like China and Eddie and Stephen who asked for their own bands every week. And to be quite honest, I am going to add you to that list, Aaron Chambers, because every week it's Gertrude, please, Gertrude, please. Gertrude, I'm afraid are not on this week because I don't have anything of them doing a Prentice Boys parade. Trevor Lennon says, was it not Derry? Just asking for a friend or foe. Way back then, it still was Derry. It was the Apprentice, it's the Apprentice Boys of Derry, as everyone knows. And back then it was Derry, but I suppose force of habit. So if I've said London Derry, it's just pure habit as much as anything else now. Gillian Douglas Ray says, keep everything crossed for Jensen to get surgery on the 7th of January, because he's going to have to be off the road and band free for 3 months. And her sanity couldn't take that in the middle of band season if it happened in 2021. Fingers, toes, eyes, the full works crossed for you, Jensen. Hopefully your surgery goes ahead, and that means that if there's any parades next year, then you'll be ready to go and ready to rock your press ups. Have you got the handstands mastered yet? I sincerely hope so. Johnny Scott says, all the best for Scotland's oldest No Surrender Apprentice Boys Branch Club, and that is Glasgow No Surrender. Merry Christmas. China says, in case he goes missing. Why would you go missing, China? My goodness. Oh dear. Hi, Valerie, says Lorraine. Say hello to Catherine Irwin and tell her to go to bed soon. No, indeed, I will not. Catherine, you tell Lorraine, that your mummy, that you need to get staying up to watch all of the bands tonight, because I was told you loved it the last week. China wants to know, are Prod Boys on yet, or am I turning off? You may stay tuned to find out, China. How's that? Only way you'll find out is if you keep watching. Davy Logan says, good evening. Sorry, late. Just finished work. Got logged on. Tut, tut. Where is your note to say why you were late? My goodness. Jacqueline Bennett is watching. Reggie Cullen is also watching. Wantage is Swindon. Thank you for that, because I wasn't actually too sure where Wantage was. Glenn Miller is loving the jumper. It's cool, isn't it? I'm very pleased with it. China says we had enough Scottish bands last week. Brutal. That is a terrible thing to say. Absolutely terrible. And just for that, I think our next band is going to have to be a Scottish band. This band is the Govan Proddy Boys. I know that quite a few of you are fans of them. And this is them from way back in 2014 at their closing of the Gates parade. There we go. Great show from Govan Protestant Boys there. It's just a pity that the cameras hadn't been a little closer to the band themselves, but still got to hear them. China says that's 2 weeks in a row that Govan are on. They'll be catching up East Belfast. There is no other, I would have to have a band on for about 20 weeks in a row, China, to catch you guys up. Oh my goodness. Davy Logan says Bandura Campsie Club is Ulster's finest. It's funny the way everyone thinks their own Campsie or their own club is the best, or their own band is the best, I suppose, is exactly the same. Now, Edward Fellows says, Valerie, we know it's the 100th anniversary next year, but it's 50 years since the evacuation of the women and children from Belfast to Liverpool. I suppose that is right, yes. Now, I'm not sure whether he's still watching. I did see his name on earlier. Gormy, are you still watching? I know that you had up something not so long ago about the evacuations. Maybe you know whether it's going to be something to market or whatever. You know, and let us know if you know of anything coming up. I haven't heard of anything, Edward, I have to say, but yeah, it's definitely something that needs to get marked. And of course, it was something that started the great relationships between Belfast and Liverpool, which have gone on for years. And of course, Liverpool supporters helped that all the way. Elsie was the woman, then China. Yeah, of course, because you were you were probably around in those days as well. You were maybe in your 40s that time, weren't you? Yeah. Now, haven't had any part music on as yet, so let's get that remedied first off. This is Castle Gore Flute Band. Unfortunately, not from an Apprentice Boys parade, but it is a cracking clip of them. Great there from Castlegore, as Ken Stewart said. They are sounding great. They certainly were. Though I think at one stage I was pulling my earphones out my head or my ears and checking them and checking the volume, because I think whoever's recording it has put their finger over the microphone on the phone or something, because we're very faint at one stage. Thanks, Gormy, for coming back about Elsie Doyle. He says, Merry Christmas to Elsie and all her friends in loyal Liverpool. I knew if anyone would know that you would know, because I can remember seeing you putting up some information about it. Eddie wants to know what age was I during the siege of Derry. Eddie. I'm not as old as you. You were in the Mountjoy. You come down in the Mountjoy and broke the boom, huh? Oh my goodness. Kathy Ruddle says her kitten is watching it. She has great taste. My boys are lying in the sofa. That's one of them that you can see. The other one's at the other end of the sofa. Unfortunately, they can't hear the music any longer, but they love they love to hear a good band, especially Balbrasheen. Always love Balbrasheen. Now, Chris Lang says that music is great, proper music. Glad you enjoy it, Chris. We have, of course, all the genres here. And we try to cover them all. I know not everybody's a fan of all the genres. Some people like brass, some people don't. Some people like pipes, some people don't. Some people like Blood and Thunder, some people don't. But we're just trying to give everyone a little taster of the stuff that they would normally love to listen to. And unfortunately, you can't please everyone all the time. Isn't that what they say? So as long as I please myself all the time, that's all that matters, huh? Dave Verdon says he is watching in Spain. He's still trying to get the message out. No surrender. Absolutely. Totally agree. Samuel Miller is watching from Brashean. Good to have you in, Samuel. I don't think I've seen you writing on the messages before. Nice to hear from you. Now, the one place I didn't know had a Lundy parade is Market Hill. So this next clip is someone I actually was expecting to get more requests for them than we do on the show. It's Kilcloney Volunteers, and this is them at the Shutting of the Gates parade in Market Hill in 2018. Watch this video on YouTube. Oh, very good, very good. Let's have a wee look and see what's wrong with that there. We'll move very quickly on to the next clip. The next clip is of Black Ridge Thistle. This is them playing at their own competition in November 2014. Again, it's one of those ones, the genres where they don't tend to take part very much in the Burning of Lundy parade. So we've had to go a little bit outside of the Burning of Lundy. But this is them in 2014 playing at their own contest. excellent there from Black Ridge Thistle. Really, really good. Penny is laughing at the fact that their heads are just peeking above their stands and no more. And someone else said that it's like wearing masks in the front row. They were ready quite a few years early for COVID, those guys. China says, where's your husband? What husband? Whose husband are you asking about? Not sure. My husband? He's at work. Best place for him. Other than cleaning. That's a good place for him too. Mark Fry says, have a good Christmas. Don't drink too much. He is watching Ingris Hill outside Ballymena. Philip and Adrian were enjoying that clip of Black Ridge Thistle, as were Victoria and Margaret. I'm getting it now, Brian. Yes, that's explained. That's explained it. Tut, 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 tut. Now, Chris says, aha, Black Ridge Thistle. I played in a lot of bands, and this is the best band to come out of Scotland. This is the band everyone wanted to be in. Oh, and my second name is pronounced differently. Apologies, Chris. I just give it a blast and see how you get on. Sometimes I can mangle them the very best. Super banders. I saw Diane in the front row, and I'm sure Andy was in the back row playing away there as well. Now, let's go back to try this Kilclunny clip. I don't know whether it's going to work or not, but we'll give it a blast anyway. This hasn't been pre-watched or anything, so I'm just hoping that it's a full clip of a full tune, but we'll know once we watch it. Same again. Okay, I will give up on that one. So we will move on to our next band. This is Camlaggy Loyal Star, playing in 2019. And once again, it's at a burning of Lundy, shutting off the gates celebration in Scotland. I've just realised we've had that clip on before. Whatever's going on. Don't know how we managed that. But we can stick with Scotland, because the next band is the Rangers Accordion Band. This is them in 2007. Not sure how. Third time lucky. I know Roy doesn't like accordion bands. Oh, Penny, love your comment. There's a couple of Frisian cows in that band, and Darren says they are Scottish cows because you can see the bagpipes. Very, very good. Bit of a discussion going on in the chat there about the whether we're going to be out on parade next year or not. I don't know. I have to say I have always been a little bit dubious of it. When you take into consideration 3 months ago, they were still talking about a 6 month to 9 month restrictions. So 6 months was taking us to the end of April, and May obviously is the big 100th centenary parade. So the chances of it sort of like lifting for that or not is probably few and far between. Then if they go to 9 months, then that takes us to the end of May, and again then April, May, June. Sorry, the end of June. That is too close to July for us to be back up and running for full-size parades. So I've never really been too optimistic, and I know I've said that a time or two before, and I sincerely hope I am wrong, but I'm not sure that we will be parading in our normal manner next year. But I do think that when it comes to the 12th, that we will be marking it in some way, the same way we did this year. Look, what we have to remember is our culture and our heritage and our tradition and our community is not built on 1 or 2 parades. We are a whole package. We are all together in it, and that's the thing. It's not that some people are out and some people aren't out parading, other people's are. Some people are out partying while others aren't, and that's probably half the problem, really, isn't it? So it's hard. It's hard to know. It's the only thing is that we can do is we can just take it month by month and just stay positive, because getting depressed and annoyed about it is not going to do your mental health any good. And that's the most important thing, is getting through it and getting through it together. Malcolm says lockdowns don't work. It has been proven our government are clueless. To be quite honest, yes, you can be really sore in our government, Malcolm. You absolutely can. The difficulty is there's no governments getting it right. Spanish, German, Sweden, all of those guys, everyone's getting it wrong. Everyone's getting it wrong. The only people seem to have got it right is China. And I'm not too sure whether it's actually gone in China or if it's not been reported in China. You know, but we just have to keep the hope. You know, we know that we are not funded on one, we're not based on one parade, but we need to get through this, and we need to keep our community safe and get through it. And we'll get through it together. We absolutely will. I have no doubt that we will. We're made of stronger and sterner stuff. When you look at what the siege, the guys inside the walls and the siege went through, we know we can get through this. We absolutely can. So just think of the spirit of Londonderry. Penny says nothing wrong with the government. It's the people who are breaking simple rules. Yes, but I can totally agree with that there. There definitely is people breaking simple rules, but at the same time, some of the instructions coming out are contradictory. And then, of course, you have the government ministers who don't obey the instructions coming out either. Isn't that right, Michelle, in case you're watching? Yeah, you should really be watching this. Now, let's move back up to our Limavady and have another band from their Burning of Lundy parade. I'm not having much luck with the videos today. I think he has set me up. This is Pride of Orange Ballynarg playing in 2019. Ballynarrig there in Limavady. And the Christmas lights look lovely. That was last year. Graham Kenny says Australia and New Zealand got it right, Val. New Zealand completely shut down. They stopped everything in and out. And did for a long, long time. Australia didn't get it right either, because I would have worked with quite a lot of people in Australia, and they were really heavily locked down, especially in Adelaide. They were very, very, and Sydney, they were very heavily locked down for a long, long, long time. It was quite bad in Australia. I don't know what it is recently, because I haven't been talking to any of them because I've changed jobs. But they, I know that New Zealand just locked the entire country down, and we couldn't have done that because we're bordered, obviously, with another country. So it wasn't possible. And it's all right to, say they knew the winter pressures were coming. Mal says, well, everybody did, and that's the whole problem. And what you have to remember is the nurses are human too. And they have all of these beds, but they don't have the staff to work in them, because the nurses, as I say, are human too. And they're coming down with it as well. They are, like the staff are really under pressure. So, if we sack the government, then who does the job? Do you know what I mean? And I have to say, whilst I don't agree with everything that Robin Swan has come out with, and the contradictory instructions and all that kind of stuff, it's a thankless job, you have to admit. And it's nobody else would tick it, and who else would tick it on now? That's for sure. Now, as Robert says, no more lockdown crap. Absolutely, totally agree, Robert. Let's get the next one. It is a pipe band this time. This is the pipe band of the RAF, the Central Scotland RAF pipe band. This is them in the Edinburgh Forces Day in 2019.
Two.